What up, guys? Jason Geiman here with PressureWashHelp.com, king of pressure washing. And tonight, or today's ones, I'm going to just answer questions. I actually had one of my, George, which is one of my listeners, been to one of my classes, is like, hey, Jason, why don't you just have a video that we can come and ask questions? And so that is what we are going to make tonight. And so if I don't have no questions that are coming up, I've actually pulled up my YouTube channel that I can always go there and ask some questions too that have been asked. And so then that way I get to answer those questions too. But so that's what I'm going to hit on is what questions do you all have? This is usually a great way to learn a lot of times when you can see things and maybe you are too scared to ask the question. Maybe you don't know what question to ask and it's similar to somebody else's. And so that is what we are going to talk about is talking about, wow, you guys have already asked some questions. So that is what we're going to hit on. So I'm going to try to start at the top and I'm going to work my way down. So when I get to your questions, I know sometimes I can get winded on some questions over others. And so you just wait. I will answer your question. I want to make sure your questions get answered. And so that way you understand the questions and that way you don't have questions no more. And so, again, that's what we're going to hit on. So first question I have here, because I actually posted a thing in there. Recently, I was washing a house roof with a 12-volt pump, 5/8 hose, 200 feet, pulled out from the reel, no kinks. Using my soft wash with a shooter tip, I could hit the roof, but I wasn't getting constant. I'm going to assume that's constant flow. Runoff the roof was dirty. I used 6.25% with surfactant of a 4%, so it would stick. Well, it didn't until I did a spray pattern, so I didn't climb the roof. What am I doing wrong? Sorry I ran out of characters. Blasting too much at one time. Oh, the temperature was 48. The wind was 8 miles an hour. That's why I ran a little hotter. So that was a big long question. So I'm going to assume here that you're asking that I use 6.5. Some of it is, if you're using 6.5%, that should have been fine. I couldn't hit the roof. I could hit the roof, but I was getting constant. I'm going to assume that, some things we have to check is to make sure we have good bleach. If it's not working, good SH. If it's not working and we know that we have a 4.5%, 6%, I like you. This is why I do it 50-50 and just get to 6%. I use 12.5%. And because I knew that would clean most stuff that I needed to get cleaned. So that is what I would do. And so when we're getting down with temperatures, like you're saying, into the 45-degree mark, sometimes temperature does have effect on sodium hypochlorite or bleach, whatever you want to call it. And so, we actually might have to go a little bit stronger even when it's getting colder. And so those are some things that we have to remember. Temperature and bleach are if it's getting colder, 70 is where we kind of want to be at. And once we start getting colder, we need to try to maybe think about some ways to warm up the water, something along the way. So that way, because if we can do that, that will actually activate it and make it work better. And so those are some things. But if you have dead bleach in the beginning, it doesn't matter. And I know there's a meter out there. I don't know how well it works, but I always just stick to, and this is just Jason doing his dumb hillbilly way of testing bleach. Just stick the tip of your fingernail, just stick a little bit into the bleach. And if it's not turning your finger white, it's dead. Basically, you have salt water at that point. If it's turning your finger white, that means it's killing the cells. That means it's still good. We want to get it off there, obviously. You don't want to do it on a finger that has a cut because it's going to hurt like a mofo. And so them are some ways that you can make sure that you have good bleach. Tommy or Greg, hey Jason from Georgia Bulldog Country. So I hope that answered your question. Great day, best nozzle set with a 5.5 gallon minute. I have used since the beginning of business is a 0030 or 40. 0540 Jason's recommended 2530 or 40, and a 1525 to clean brick. With the 5.5, you want to use the 40 series. The 30 series is really too low for that, so I would use the 40 series is what I would use for that. It's going to give you the better. Nozzles got to be stainless steel with a stainless steel J-rod. How to clean a bull nose. Stick a hose up in it and let her fly and see how long you last. I did get the first two nozzle sets numbers right, but the last two, I'm not sure. I would have to check the stamp nozzles. Yeah, you want the 040s, the 40 series. My question is, I'm getting yard signs made up. Should I go 18 by 12 or 12 by 24? They're both pretty pricey out here in California. 12 by 24 is $279 with 100 pieces with the stakes from Texas. Yeah, if you go to pressurewashhelp.com/signs, get sign, or moneybushes.com works also. Moneybushes.com, it will work too. I like the 18 by 24 steins. I like them big. I want big, Robert Jones. I want them babies to be able to be seen. I want big signs. I want big sign like this. Big sign. Big pressure washing. Big number. You know, I don't want little signs with a whole lot of wordings on it, because you can't even read that from back in. You know, I want big signs. My soft wash J-Rod. Yeah, and your soft wash J-Rod is actually could be a 30 series. You might actually be too big, but that's not going to hit there for throwing the top of the ridge. That 0060 is actually too big. You really want to be at 0030. The 30 is where you want to be at for soft washing. Start and see. Good evening. Really enjoyed Jason on the Lighting for Profit podcast. Good job. Thanks for watching. I was a little nervous on that one. I do better on my own. I get a little nervous on other people's. I'm going to get better at it. That is one of my goals for next year. Is I'm going to try to get on somebody's podcast. I'm going to try to do a lot next year. I'd like to do one a week. Is kind of where my goal is probably going to be set. I don't know, that might be set too high. But you all need to be setting goals too. Set goals, guys. So I set goals, things happen. You set goals, things will happen. That's why I tell you all to set goals. Setting goals is definitely will help you grow your business. JT Foster, sorry, stepped out, man. I have only done a few roofs, but the shooters create a lot of point volume, patience, and paces with key shooter spray. Yeah, and whenever you're using a shooter tip, that's a good point. You're going to get a lot of runoff. I'd rather use a fan as much as I can. I know if you're shooting from the roof or the gutter line, that's sometimes hard to do, but the more you can open that fan up, the better off you are, because all we need is just it wet. We don't need it soaking wet. We just need it wet. How's Mr. Wild Wilderness? And again, ask any questions you all have, and I will get to it. I know we got it here. So ask your questions, and I will get to it, because I'm just going to scroll down. Big George is the one that asked me to do this, so this is why I'm doing the Q&A for you all. And so Big Time is in the house. George asked, hey, could I do just a question and answer? And so I hate my ask questions. I prefer to climb the roof line on a ladder and use an adjustable spray as much as possible. Hope someone with more experience offers other ideas for you. I mean, like I say, when we can get that spray open, and because it's not about getting so much chemical up there that we soak it. All we need to do is get enough chemical on it to just layer it. In fact, if you're a good person, if you're good at doing roofs, you will have almost zero runoff. If you're not good at doing roofs, you'll have 10, 20 gallons of runoff. And that's not the goal. Our goal is to do it with very little runoff. I mean, I've done it many times where there hasn't been nothing come out of the downspout. And that's my goal. Now that might have been clogged. No, it wasn't. But that's my goal, is cleaning a house where you're getting zero down. And one thing I do know that helps, I see a lot of people want to start spraying at the top and working our way down, and that's how we cause runoff. If we start at the bottom and work our way up, you'll have less runoff at that way. Wow, you all got started early. I started at 9. I got started on asking the question. I literally just quoted and closed my first contract over Google My Business Messenger. That's awesome. If you don't have your Google My Business Messenger turned on, make sure you got it turned on. You can go through the app right now to turn it on. And so make sure you turn it on. Make sure that you respond quickly with it, because if you're not responding quickly to your Google My Message business, what can happen is Google won't show you up there for that. So make sure that you have it turned on under your settings, under your Google My Business settings, and that way you can get jobs like Brandon did here by using Google My Business. So that's definitely something you want to do. When you do a roof cleaning, how do you set expectations for the customer? I always tell them that, we always told them that the black's going to be gone when we leave. Because if the black is not gone, you haven't done your job. The black should turn brown. Brown is done. Brown is dead and it's going to go. I always tell them if it has moss on the roof, it's going to take 2 to 3 good rains. And if it has lichens or lichens on it, it's going to take a month for them to fall off. The good thing about lichens or lichens, however you want to say it, usually there's only a couple up there and you usually can't really see them. But the moss, I've had moss where you couldn't tell it was mossy until you do it, and it looks like a freaking checkerboard up there with all the moss. And so that's where I would tell them, hey, it's going to take 2 to 3 weeks or 2 to 3 good rains to do that. So if it turns brown, you're good. If it turns black, you're going back. So whether you leave and you come back or you go back again. So you want to make sure that it all the black is no more. Like I say, it'll turn brown and that's fine. But if it's still black, you're going back. And this is another reason why I like starting at the bottom and working my way up. Because sometimes what can happen is if we spray to the top and it's coming down and the bleach is going away and the water's still there, then it dilutes that bottom half. So those are some things to think about. Mr. Dan, when you post-treat, do you ever worry about the customer walking it and tracking into their car and ruining their carpet? No, I don't, because if I'm post-treating, I'm only post-treating with a house wash mix, which I'm at 1.25, the strongest, maybe 2, maybe 1.5, and that's not very strong at the end of the day. Now, I will worry about if there might be a puddle that a dog comes and drinks, but even then, that's not that strong. But the one thing about dog bowls, if you do get a chance I always flip them over. That way, I don't have to worry about them drinking out of a bowl, or any bowls that, for that matter, that are in the back of the house. Mr. Gene, how you doing? Wild Wilderness. I've been having to get on roofs a lot lately. Do you recommend cougar paws when soft washing, or will it eat the bottoms of the shoes? What type of shoes are the best? Cougar paws do work well. I do know, I used to have a pair of work boots that worked really well up on roofs. That was, get me so far. I do know people will wear like Vans. It's a good thing. I had big feet, but there's a boot out that Walmart sells that's like $30, and they'll last. They won't last a long time, but they'll do pretty well on steep roofs. But if it's too steep, I'm using my cougar paws. And just get a couple of the extra paddings. They're only $20, or they used to only be $20. I don't know if they're still $20, and you can just pull them right off and replace them. I heard GMB is going away. It's going to still be Google My Business. The app is going away. It's going to be called Google Profile, Google Business Profile. It's not, Google Maps isn't going away 100%. Now, I'm not saying it won't go away in the future. I'm just saying this time, who knows what can happen. I was listening to a guy that I always listen to about Google My Business, and he's like, it is the way we search and the way we do things right now is going to change. And it's probably going to, in the last 20 years, the next 20 years ain't going to be the same. And so in the next 20 years, I'd say in the next 5 to 10 years, the way we search stuff will change. There's just too much technology, with Facebook coming out with the metaverse or whatever it's called. I see that you'll be able to do like walking tours of businesses. I see that it could be really crazier than what you really think it could be. When we was watching the Jetsons back in the day when I was a kid, and you thought that could never happen, I don't think that's too far off. I think that walking around in virtual reality and going checking out businesses is not that far off at all. I mean, you already can do where they can do 360 tours in there and all different kinds of things. So, I would, and here's the other reason. Excuse me. Here's the other thing. I'm starting to see some big names starting to talk about this. Ryan Stewman is one. Ryan Stewman, Gary Vee's been talking about a little bit. And when they start talking about it, this is something that you want to jump on early. And if you can be an early adopter and figure out how this works, you can set yourself way ahead of everybody else that says, oh, that will never work. Have you ever seen anyone be successful doing lawn care and pressure washing with a good balance? Most people that I know that does lawn care and pressure washing quits lawn care and just does all pressure washing. And I'm not being funny about that at all. Most people I know that try to do both. I don't know many out there that try to do both and be successful at both. Like I say, the people that I know that started in lawn care, they went to pressure washing and they never looked back. I have a competitor up here on the east side, and he was in lawn care, went to pressure washing. He's doing about $500,000 a year doing pressure washing, and that's all he does. He sold everything else. Miss Tricia, if I have a quick connect, do I have to turn the water off at the house to switch between my wand and my surface cleaner? I did order a ball valve today, but if I don't need it, can I return it? Yeah, you want that ball valve. So that way all you got to do is turn off the ball valve, and then you can change out the pressure washer, all that kind of stuff. Otherwise, you can turn the machine off. You don't have to turn the water off. You got to turn the machine off. You don't want to turn the water off and then not turn the machine off. So you'd have to turn the machine off, and then that way you can do that. But if you have the ball valve, you can just turn it off, take off your gun, hook it up, and you're ready to rock and roll. I give you the credit, Jason. You are the motivating factor that got me to where I am. Thank you. Hey, I just want you all to be able to change your world and change other people's world by whatever you want to do. What do you look forward to the most each day pertaining to a business? It's got to be exciting thinking of topics to discuss and share your knowledge and experience with others with your community. I wish that was the case, Michael. Sometimes I don't know what I'm going to talk about, and I just pull it out of my hat and I just flow with it. I wish I was better at preparing and doing that kind of stuff. I'm not. I just flow with it. I'm honest. I've grown my business to $1 million, and I'm honest. And because when you lie and you try to, if I tried to make bigger numbers than they was and that, the next time, you guys listen to me a lot. I say that all the time. You guys probably know more about me than my family does, because some of you guys listen to me every Sunday night and every Thursday night for an hour, and some listen to more than that. And so, if I gave out different numbers and different things, that's why I don't lie about stuff. That's why what I know that works for me can work for you. And that's why I still do trainings myself. That's why I joined the BBB. That's why I pay $200 a month plus whatever it cost me to go there 4 times, to go to Nashville 4 times, and to spend the night, and that cost me $150. And so that's why I still pay for that stuff, is so that way I can see, because when I go to BBB, that's 30 or 40 businesses. That's anywhere from about 300 to a couple $1 million that's doing pressure washing and other businesses. And I want to make sure what I did for my business to grow it to $1 million still works today. And it does. And that's why I do that for. And so, I have the experience behind that. And then I know the people that have the experience behind this. I'm not somebody that is trying to blow a bunch of fluff up in the air and try to make me look better than I am. One thing that I struggled the hardest growing my business was employees. And that was before the crisis of employees of that. But, when I'm looking back at myself now, and looking back at myself 2 or 3 years ago when I had employees, I've learned so much. I've learned about leadership. I have dove a lot about leadership. And I think that a lot of you all should do the same thing. Listen to podcasts about leadership. Listen about leadership. Because as an entrepreneur, how you want to grow your business, it comes down to being a great leader. And if you have a great leader, you will have people that will want to follow you and go through high water in doing that. I wasn't a great leader when I owned my business. I will be completely honest that is one thing that I struggled with. And that's one thing that I've read a lot of books on and I've been studying about, because I know being a good leader can go a long ways at the end of the day. Been doing solar panel cleaning, pressure washing, roof only about a year already. Trying to add the service of pressure washing homes and concrete. What's the best strategy to market the services and tips? I would say your best way to doing that would be through your Google My Business, getting your 5-star reviews. If you're going to do Facebook, if you're going to do paid ads, you can do Google ads. You can do, your Google My Business is very good. Having a good website that ties together with your Google My Business goes a long ways. Pink Robin, did you change your profile picture? How you? Good evening. 1090, awesome. Cincinnati soft wash. Wash most expensive residential job today. Awesome. This is a tough one. I had this question in my group, in my Sunday night. Every other Sunday night, I do basically what I'm doing here, just ask questions, and this came up. And so what I'm going to tell you is, ask your CPA, a good CPA. If you're just starting out, you're probably going to want to start out as an LLC. You can always switch. Actually, one person in the group, his CPA said, if you're doing under $100,000, you can be an LLC. You start doing over that, you may want to be an S corp. I personally am still an LLC because that's where my accountant wants me to be at, and so I listen to him. So I'm not a tax person guy. I'll be the first to tell you that. And so those are some things that you would want to ask that. Most people are going to start out as an LLC just because it's a lot easier. It's a little less hoops that you got to jump through and stuff along those ways. MTH Power Wash. How you doing? Sun also helps with SH. Yes. If it's cold out, the sun can also help with it too. Robert Jones. Got you, brother. Thank you. Should I have pressure? Should I have a pressure washer or should I put power washing? I would probably do pressure washing is what I would do. Pressure washer is like you got a pressure washer. Russ says he wouldn't use a collapsible hose for water. Are the ones in your videos working all right? Aren't fireman hoses collapsible? Yeah, I've always used the collapsible hoses because those rubber hoses are a pain in the neck. And they kink worse than the collapsible ones do. Now, if I wasn't going through a buffer tank, I probably wouldn't do that. But if I'm going through a buffer tank, I'm using either the 0G or the FlexZilla. Both of them are nice and light and easy. Start with an LLC. You can always file as an EPS court after the fact. If you make enough money, a good accountant is a must. Miss Tricia, I have a house clean tomorrow. It will be 56 degrees at the time of wash. Can I use a 1.5 or should I? No, 1.5 will be fine. You'll be fine at that. I've been using bandit signs for 2 weeks now, and they are working. Well, I wouldn't tell you, Jan, that they didn't work if they didn't work. I wouldn't call them money bushes if they didn't put money on them, because money bushes are amazing. There's a lot of people out there making a lot of money off of money bushes. So you can go to moneybushes.com and you'll buy me a coffee when you buy signs, and I appreciate that. I am currently paying $4.13 per gallon of 10% at Walmart. Can you order it online any cheaper? What do you recommend? I would recommend, I don't remember where you are, Wild Wilderness. I would recommend trying to find a company that sells it. Look up industrial cleaning supplies or industrial chemicals and see if you can find somebody. Another way you can try to find buying bulk SH is going to either a hotel that has a pool, and a lot of times they're buying it in bulk, or go to HOAs that those pools and they're buying it in bulk, and find out where they're buying it from. So they're buying it from somewhere usually. H2O Improvement just pulled up all my pressure washing signs and put out 50 Christmas light signs. I've got 3 more house washes this week. I've got 6 Christmas lights installed, booked, and many more to book. That is awesome. Jay, hey Jason, I'm in Louisiana and I watch your videos for a while. I'm starting out. I'm having a few yard signs and getting some door hangers. Would you recommend that option of marketing? I would get 100 yard signs from moneybushes.com, and I would get 100 of them, and I would stick them bad boys everywhere, and then I'd be ready to get another 100. Now, we are getting into the wintertime, and I don't know how winter works in Louisiana. I know you're a lot warmer, but I just want to say that, I don't know how well they're going to work. Thanks for the super chat. I appreciate it very much, Gene. What is your thought on paying a tech % of truck income instead of hourly? I love the fact of paying him a percentage, because if I pay him a percentage, I know my cost. If I pay per hour, I don't know my cost. That job might take 2 hours. I might think it should take 2 hours, and it takes me 4 hours. And now I am the one paying out more than that 25% or 20%. And I paid my guys 15% and then gave him bonuses. I gave him the bonus options of, if their truck was clean, they didn't get so many callbacks a week. And if you got so many reviews, all of those things added in a percentage of a bump up for them to get more money. And so that's why I like paying. A percentage, because then I know my cost. If I'm doing $25 an hour, I don't know my cost. Now, it works good with some technicians, and your slow ass ones, it don't work so well. So the slow guys, we have to deal with those of, they don't make a lot of money. But I had a guy that I could load him up, and he would be back at 3 o'clock every day. And he loved it because he was making jack. And so, but I loved it too. Now, the one stipulation is if they get a call back, they got to go back on their own dime. And it's not my time that they got to go to fix this. Now, the one thing you have to make sure that if you do this, and you got to keep track of this, because if you don't keep track of this and the government comes at you, you could get in a big doo-doo if you're paying percentages. That whatever the minimum wage is or whatever your wage is that they're making that even if they're working overtime. So maybe minimum wage, we paid our guys $8 an hour, but it was 15%, which we knew would, as long as it is. But if they work 50 hours and it didn't come up to the same amount of that, you have to make sure you pay that. So like I know some people will pay 15%, or they'll pay $15 an hour plus time and a half. So that way they kind of do it that way to make sure that they don't fall under that. Because if you don't track it, and you actually got to track their hours and stuff, because if the government comes, you can get screwed. I've heard of guys getting screwed because they didn't track it. Don't just set goals, write them down and tell someone. Amen. High five, Charles. 100%. Don't just tell them. Write them down and tell somebody. And you got about a 75% chance of making your goals a reality. I'd use the same, and depending on the siding material, you may go higher. Be sure to make sure those painted sidings aren't blue, green, or Sherwin-Williams paint. So always do test. Zoe's pressure washing. Hey, what's good, Jason? Do you know where I can get an inexpensive lift to remove my skid from my truck? I don't. I do know some people that I seen one the other day. It wasn't inexpensive though. I do know some people have used like engine crane hoists to get them out. There's a thing, I don't know how well it works, that it's like a jack that goes up in there, but I don't know. I haven't seen a good one. No runoff is my goal. Then you don't have to worry about killing a bunch of stuff. A while back, you had a guest on, and they were using virtual assistants from Philippines. Who were they? That was Melissa Edwards. Melissa Edwards. I don't remember that. And she used, what was the name of it? I can't think of it. It's Philippines, it's ph.ph is the website. I can't remember the name of it though. What contract or something in writing, like in an email, is good to use with customers? We just put the kind of ours in our email. They never signed a piece of paper. It's one of those things that in the emails that we sent for once we closed the job, or not closed the job, once we booked the job, they got the email series, and it said, make sure all your windows are closed, make sure the water's on, make sure everything's 10 feet from the house. And that's basically what it said. And that was kind of my liability of keeping me from getting sued, because here at the end of the day, if I damage something, I got to replace it. If I damage the, if I put SH in the pool or in the pond and kill a fish, I got to replace it. I replaced toads before because her little toads were so cute, and you killed them all. And so I went and bought $5 worth of toads. Now, on the other hand, you got to be careful because some of those fish are worth $10,000. So you don't want to be killing those too much. Mr. Charles, how you doing? Would you recommend paying for a pro to make your Google ads and website landing page and Facebook ads? I don't have anybody that I would recommend. That's the only problem. There's a lot of snake oil out there is what I'm going to say the biggest thing. Thanks, Jason. Hey, Pink. I agree. Roof washing has to be effective immediately. I've noticed one that I had a contractor say it is a 2 or more application process. I disagree. To agree with that. Using 5 to 8 should clean it. That's 6% usually cleans it right up. Huck boots, I never wore them. Zoes. Jason, what is the key to get leads from Nextdoor? I've been on there for several months and I've gotten any leads. All my leads come from Yelp and Google My Business. Is building a network, building a relationship. Now, somebody sent me a Voxer the other day showing me what was said from Nextdoor, and Nextdoor wasn't his customer. He's expensive. He gave me a $500 bid. And so you got to watch that too. That can bite you sometimes. But that's not my customer. Should I try a 1.8 downstream on a 4-gallon with 200 feet or stay with the 2.1? I would probably just stay with the 2.1. The 1.8 will draw a little bit more, but it's not going to draw that much. Do you think a business license is needed starting out? A business license, you need to be licensed with the state. And if you have assets, you want an LLC. Now, we didn't have a business license in every city that we went in. A lot of times you're supposed to have a business license in every city you go into. And we went into a lot of cities because we were going an hour south and an hour north. And yes, Cincinnati was the big city, but there was also a lot of little cities. And out of all the years, I've only been stopped one time out of the little Podunk, Park Hills, Kentucky, was the one little city that was trying to shut me down, which I actually had theirs through the county because that's where my business was at one point. Having a problem with white gutters. I spray them with house wash mix and let it dwell for a few minutes, then rinse, still look grayish with bright white drip marks. I respray them. That's called gutter. You either need gutter butter or that. That's called gutter whitening is what you got to do that. That's an upsell. And if you're doing that, it's got to be above 60 degrees. That stuff don't work if it's below 60 degrees. So that's what you need to do there. 2021 was my first year in business. I made around $50,000 this year with only free marketing. What do you think is a good monthly budget to make $10,000 or to make $100,000 next year? $10,000. Not per month, but if you're working 10 months, that's $1,000 a month. That's what I would shoot for. 10% is where I would shoot for. It's been around for several years and is what's moving forward. Yeah, that's kind of that market land or whatever it is. Wild, what's up, gentlemen? I'm sorry I'm late. Mr. Wade. I expect that two types of service businesses need to be big. So that's the two services are different divisions that operate separately under one LLC, but two trade names. And you can do that with a DBA doing business as. So like when we had my Christmas light business and my pressure washing business, I just had DBAs for them. What What all should be not be sprayed with SH? Electrical boxes. That's a good thing not to spray. I know, but what else? Painted doors. Yeah, if it's freshly painted, anything within like a couple weeks that have been painted can mess up. SH can mess up. That's a deck. I've seen decks get screwed up because they've just been freshly painted, and that SH can mess with decks. So be careful there. Any electrical boxes, we want to make sure that they're not, there. I try not to spray around too many outlets. I'm not sitting there going, I'm not doing that. I made it, even though I'm late. Health issues. Well, that stinks, F-bomb. Hope you get better, man. What do you think about billboards, radio ads, and TV commercials for local marketing? Have you ever tried them? If so, are they worth it? Sorry, so many questions. No problem. That's why I'm doing tonight, so you can ask questions. I have done billboards, and they didn't do me worth a crap. I have not done radio ads, but one of the guys in BBB up in Minnesota is killing it with radio ads. And there's actually a couple of them that are killing it with radio ads. You want to get on like conservative talk radio ones if you can, is what I'm understanding it. And them are your best ones that give you the highest ROI. TV commercials, I don't see that so much there. No, because there's a bunch of con artists there. But I have something better than that, and it is pressurewashhelp.com/in-person. It's going to be in Orlando, Florida, and it's going to be Bobby and myself. It's going to be my full class, which you don't just watch somebody spray water. You actually get to do the pressure washing. You actually get to do the window cleaning. You actually get to do the surface cleaning and learn how to surface clean the right way and not just watch somebody spray a roof. So that is what I do at my class. And Bobby Walker is going to be there with me. And so the first day is just going to be all pressure washing and safety, and we're going to go over roof safety and ladder safety to make sure you don't fall off. And the next thing is then it's going to be a 2-day class in February. So February, I believe it's the 15th and 16th. If you go up here to pressurewashhelp.com/in-person training, I put all the details there. The second day, I'm going to go over my normal about 4 or 5 hours of marketing and how to get business and all the different ways of marketing. And then Bobby is going to also jump in there and help me there. And he's going to do some more on the second half of phone script, how to talk to customers, how to do the customer journey from the start to the end, and how to grow a business. So Bobby is really close to doing $1 million this year. So this isn't, both of us have done $1 million. This isn't people that haven't done $1 million and think they're trying to talk about doing $1 million. So I would highly recommend you, if you want to get signed up, we're probably going to cap it at either 15 or 20, because 15, and we might cap it at 15 because 15 is pretty hard for me to be able to allow everybody to do the hands-on portion. 10 is really tough. 15 is kind of pushing it. And so we'll probably cap it somewhere either between 10 and 15. And that way, I want to make sure you all get a good experience. I want to make sure that this isn't just to blow you up. This is the actual how to do it, how to grow a business from start to finish. Again, Bobby's done his to $1 million this year. I grew mine to $1 million. And so Bobby and I both have hearts of wanting to help you grow and not, we just want to make sure you can grow a business. And so definitely check that out. In-person training. I believe you can also go to dates. This one is actually probably a little bit better. If you go to pressurewashhelp.com/dates, it actually takes you to the landing page. And I've listed all the stuff that you're going to learn that weekend. Hey, F-bomb, glad you made it. I'm going to go back to this one here. Let's see. Solar panel sounds interesting. So GMB is being renamed. Yes, it is, Nathan. It is going to be renamed. When quoting smaller commercial roofs, is the pricing the same, similar to residential? Yeah, unless it's really big, but yeah, you're going to be about the same for that. The only time I'm going to be different is if it's going to be a really big difference. Yes, new pick. See, I thought that was a new pick. At quality, but it couldn't hurt. S Corp after $60,000. Jason, do you know any decent trailer suppliers? I don't. I don't know any that are going to be in. The other problem that a lot of people are having is the stock of them. There ain't a lot of trailers out there right now. I just got here, so I apologize if this is asked. But what are the best ingredients to soft wash green algae mold from aluminum siding? You want to use a sodium hypochlorite mix. You can be around a 1.1%, 7.5 to 1.5% is where you want to be at. I always told my customers that aluminum siding, I only gave them about a 80% chance that I was going to get it clean, because there's a lot that can go wrong with aluminum siding. If the paint is already done, we can't repaint it at that point. So there is some things that you got to look at. Pink, my prices for residential is one price for minimum, and different commercial works by my minimum. Google My Business is going away. It will be called Google Business Profile. Research and be prepared to adjust to the changes. Yeah, I don't think there's going to be too many changes other than the app's going away. Now, like I said before, I think there could be a lot of changes coming down the road, but I don't think this one is going to be earth-shaking like a lot of people think. So how do you know if the name isn't being used elsewhere? I washed the other day and it was 36. That's cold. You want to make sure you're shooting upwind and you're not downwind and getting soaked. I hate cleaning when it's cold. I rarely do commercial jobs because most of my property manager owners are just looking for the very cheapest, and that's why we bid this by the hour a lot of times. Thanks, Jason. I didn't expect them to work, but it's great. Pool store, $2 a gallon. You can't get Pool Shock 2-gallon a lot of places. At 12%. I got my pump in my trailer for $2.75 a gallon, and it's 12.5. Yeah, are you getting it up at Lexington? I don't remember what the name of that place was. There's a place, Georgetown too was selling it. Where do you get professional pressure wash uniforms, the custom ones that have the company logo and number on it? I just got them. I got a lot of mine from Queensboro, something like that, because you can get them cheap. What's the coolest temp you can wash at? All the way down to about 35. It ain't no fun, but you can do it. Till freezing, or you can't take the cold. Pretty much. You guys in Texas, you don't even know what cold is. You have one little snap of cold weather, and you all sit there and complain that it got down there, and it iced y'all and shut everything down. 1 out of 25 years. Let's give the man a thumbs up. I appreciate that. Let's see. Do Christmas lights clips go under all the shingles or just the one at the very top? The top one always suck. I always put them under all of them as I go up. What are your goals for 2022? What are your goals for 2022? My goals is to keep putting out videos. One video, or I don't know, I might cut back on that. Right now it's 4 videos a week, 2 lives, 2 lives, 2 put together videos, 1 podcast a week. And now my new goal is going to be doing another podcast on somebody else's channel. And then my other goal is to read 2 books a month. 2 books a month. So that's, 24 books in a year. That's one of my other goals. And that's my goals for next year. Those are some of my goals. Actually, I'm going, and I'll tell you something that you can do too that's really a good thing, is go get away somewhere. Take a weekend off. And I'm actually taking this upcoming week on Sunday. I'll be live, but Sunday, Monday I'm on my marketing. I might not be there. But me and my wife are going away, and it's going to be 4 days away, and 1 or 2 is going to be, planning my business for next year. It's going to be the whole thing of, making sure that I have, making sure that I can keep things going and making sure that I can plan things and set my goals and write them down. So that way, like I always say, have written goals can help you and save you in the long run. But yeah, so those are my goals. My goal is for 2020 for Big Rob is $10,000 a month. It's a great goal. If you're in this area, if you're within a state or 2 of Kentucky, I would tell you to go to pressurewashhelp.com/insurance, and it's going to have you fill out a big form, and it's going to send it to Matt Zinser. Matt Zinser will get you insurance if you're in Kentucky, Ohio. I think he does 8 states around there. The Kentucky, if you're not, go try to find somebody local. Hey, I was wondering if anyone here could help me out with my problem. I have a 3.9 2000 PSI Londa and can't seem to find a surface cleaner that would be suitable for it. You should be all right with a 16 or an 18 inch. It's not going to be the greatest if you go too big, but that's where I would be at. And and the PSI isn't going to be no big deal under that. I like to be up there big in business so that an employee can be 65 to 85 a year with no issues, and having to be on minimum wage. Employees need to be nice too. How do you go about estimating gutters, by the foot or job? I did a lot of that by the job because I'm not going to go out there and do it for free. If I'm doing commercial, I'm usually trying to figure out how long is it going to take me and go from there. How do I winterize a pressure washer and pump? You can either use windshield washer fluid. The alcohol in it can actually hurt your seals. You can use RV antifreeze, or you can use regular antifreeze. RV antifreeze is obviously a little bit more friendlier to the earth, but those are some ways you can do it. If you do regular antifreeze and you go a little bit stronger, and if you need to use it during the winter, then if you empty it out, put it there, and then put it back in, and it'll dilute it down each time. But that's some things that you can do. Make sure you run it through all your hoses and stuff like that too, because sometimes you forget to run it through your hoses, and then you have a cracked hose reel or a cracked hose if you're not careful. If you ask the local shop with a forklift, they might probably do it for you for next to nothing. Use an engine lift from always. Make sure you have lifting points for it doesn't tilt, and even or ratchet strap underneath to make sure and drive off. I saw a post on Facebook today, Google my business going away. Yeah, I love when people want to blow it up. Blow it up. Blow it up. How do you teach door knocking? I don't know. I never had luck with door knocking. I'm not going to lie to you. I've never had luck with it, and I've never seen somebody grow and scale by door knocking pressure washing businesses. Apex. What did Apex write? Did he write something up here? I'll be getting a new pump for my Honda G690. Should I get a higher gallon per minute or higher pressure? You want higher gallon per minute. Higher pressure does no good. I can 6,500. All that's going to do is kill you. Or I could get a 10 gallon per minute at 8 at 35, just like normal. I have an 8. DJ has a 10, and I've gotten to use it several times, and he uses it all the time. And the 10 does make a difference between that and the 8. Like you can use a 25 tip nozzle, and you don't even have to, you know how I always teach to take out that 25 and go to a 5. You can shoot a 25 degrees nozzle with that 10 gallon a minute, 2.5 stories, and never change out your tip. So you can really put some soap on there pretty quick and rinse it really fast. How do I stop chemicals getting into people's water tanks when I wash roofs? Deter them. Like if you're talking about cisterns, I always try to unhook the gutter system at that point. I know they got the little Y or the little handle that you can switch, but I would always turn that, and then a lot of times if I could disconnect it, I would try to disconnect them. If I was just doing house wash, I didn't worry about it so much. But if I was doing roof clean, I didn't want all that bleach going down in their cistern. So that's how I did it. I would take it apart. And I know it's a pain, but it didn't happen that often because most people have city water. But the ones that didn't have city water, those are the ones you have to worry about. See you later, Mr. Charles. DBA. That is a helpful tip. Have a great night. Thanks for the gutter. I know cleaning a roof is ideal for 70 degrees or higher, but what is the lowest temperature can I clean a roof? I've cleaned one at 35 and snow on the ground. I'm not saying it was fun, but I've done it. Jason, what's your thoughts on BBB accreditation? I think it's a bunch of crap. You're going to pay the $400 a month, and if somebody has a problem against you, they're not going to side with you. They're going to side with the customer. Jason, at what temperature does it start losing effectiveness? I mean, like I said before, temperature has a big effect on it, so it will start coming down. So that's what you got to look at. But, and the colder it gets, the more that's not as effective. And you might have to spray it 2 or 3 times. If you can use warm water, we'll bring it up, and that will help it. I use stucco tape heavy over electrical. Careful, but removing the tape afterwards, not to take the paint off. And just remember, just because you put tape over it, don't mean it's not going to fry that outlet, because it can get down the back side of it, and it can still fry that outlet. Hey, I'm looking into starting a soft wash pressure washing business. Just had one question. How do I stop chemicals getting into people's water supply when I wash a roof? Well, like I said, that's only going to happen on if they have cisterns. There's a big company in Nashville doing TV commercials. Yep. When using an estimate, we never did. How to charge for gutter brightening? A lot. Gutter brightening sucks. It's a great arm workout, and so our minimum for gutter brightening was $150, $200, and we went up from there. And if it's below 60 degrees, don't even upsell it because you're not going to get them clean. Jason, Did you sell the nice truck skid build? I have not. It's still sitting in my garage. Actually, DJ and I worked on it the other day, and actually, I should rephrase because I didn't do crap on that. I worked on a website, and he did. He finished it up for me. Only thing I got left, we got the 12-volt on it. We got the box mounted. We got I did a two-way valve, one soap or one SH and one water, so you'll mix your SH and surfactant together. And what else did we do? Pretty much, I just he cleaned the tanks out. He mounted the gas tank. He did everything. I didn't do any of it. I'm not gonna lie. He did it all for me because that's why you have good friends to do that. Because I've been working on his crap, so that's what it is. How do you calculate SH as a beginner? Blessed night, Jason. So SH comes in a gallon, and it can come in a gallon at 10%, 12.5%. Bleach, household bleach is 6%. And it'll say on the tag somewhere. It'll say like if it's 12%, it'll say 12% sodium hypochlorite and 87.5% water. And so when we start diluting that down, that's how that works. And so when we use a downstream injector, it's doing 10 to 1. So if we got a downstream injector that's pulling 10 to 1, that's 10 gallons of water to 1 gallon of bleach. That's how we can get down to that 1%, 1.25%. If we use a different downstream injector that can pull a little bit more, or we use an X-Jet, we can get 3 to 4% out of that. But that's how we come up with that. What are the must-go-to events? Christmas light training, trade shows, the huge other events like that. We need a master calendar of events. Yeah, I'll probably be at a bunch of them. I'll be at the huge. Me and Donovan's going to put on some classes. I'm going to be at Bobby Walker's class. When me and Bobby Walker do it, then there's actually the PWNA, I believe, is having their convention the week before, and I'm going to be putting a booth in there. Oh, that's another thing that my goal is next year is to put a couple booths in a couple different places. WashCon is self-described. We got the pressure washing punks on here tonight. First time I've seen you all on here. If you haven't gone and checked out this channel, it's worth a watch. You will laugh your butt off. I agree with the percent pay. I used to get paid percentage. It's a great way to motivate productive quality. Thanks for all the tips. I want some "Don't be a sucky person" t-shirt. Ask everyone if they do. It's cold in Texas. Yeah, WW. Don't you even complain about cold. Looked at our Chamber of Commerce directory, and there are over 2,400 listings and 2 pressure washers. Not sure I should be happy or skeptical. You can do very well in the Chamber of Commerce. I know people that do very well in Chamber of Commerce. I know people that don't. It's all in what you put into it. Finishing up my first year, and I'm looking into building or buying a soft wash system. Should I go with 5.5 bleach pump, 12 volt, or gas bed? AR, what do you think? I had a big discussion in my group about this. They're all junk at the end of the day. They're all going to break. They're all going to have issues. I've had them all. I had the air pump. I had an air system on one of my rigs. I had the AR on it. I've had 12 volt. But in the end, I went with all 12 volt because it's $200. My guys can replace them out in the field, and they can keep working. That's why I did it. I'm trying to see. I'm after an hour, so I'm just trying to see if there's any questions. Vicky, hi, good evening. You once mentioned an app that can schedule posts in advance. What is the app called? Thanks, Jason, for always giving a great advice. Following them has helped me grow more than expected. What's it called? Metricool. 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 Thanks, appreciate it. I'm just starting out. I see a lot of shopping center buildings that need cleaning. How do I go about talking to the owner who pays for cleaning? You need to either go in and ask some of the renters who they're renting from. A lot of times, if they have an available sign, you can do that. How I got a lot of this through LinkedIn, and you start following property managers, facility managers, and all of that good stuff. Thanks for the help. I'm going to bed. I have a big house to do tomorrow. What's this? What net revenue expenses is considered average? What is excellent? Depends on the business, how many employees you got, all of that kind of stuff makes a difference. I tore my trailer down and bought most inside. Great Q&A. Thanks, George. Action cures fear, Jason. Just tell the truth and treat people like you want to be treated. Sales is not BS or being pushy, so you're doing people a service telling them about your services. If I'm using Google My Business, my full-time job is a firefighter, how do I navigate this issue in your full-time job? It ain't that bad. Pretty sure Jason only starts fires. Yeah, I'm from Australia. Pretty much everyone has water tanks hooked to the house. Have a Hydrotech 5.5 gallon minute pump. What size service cleaner do you think will work better? Have a 28 or a 24? Actually, if you go smaller, you don't want to go. If you only got a 5.5, you really only want a 19 or 20 inch. Otherwise, you're going to be walking really slow. And if you go to an 8 gallon a minute, you're better off with a 19 or 20 inch whisper wash with the 4-tip bar than you are with a 28 or that, because you're going to be walking slow at that point. Jason didn't do good door knocking because when Jason looked out of their peephole, all they saw was his shoulders. Jason is a big guy. That's pretty funny. Hey, Jason, how much would you charge for a house wash for a 2,300 square foot house? It depends on the packages, our base package for 23, we were probably around 400 or 450, and then it went up from there. Let's just say 400. I think it was a little bit more than that, but 400, and then it was 175 for windows. So we were at 575, and then 300 for concrete cleaning. So that's how we get our packages to get our numbers up. I'm a tall guy and not a small guy either, but I also learned in training never stand in front of the front door. Yep. Pressure wash punk. That comment was gold. That's funny. Somebody didn't like pressure washing punk. Somebody didn't like your comment up there. He was saying that they're giving away a rig, $20,000 rig. That's not a con to get you there at all. Many thanks, Jason. We are on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok too. What do you think about pressure washing and lawn care business together? I think pressure washing is definitely where your money is to be made. Thanks for watching, Pink. And I'm at the last one. Thank you, Jason. Again, go check out pressurewashhelp.com/free. You can get 30 days free. That way you can start learning. There is also, that's not supposed to be there. That's supposed to be right here. Pressure Wash Help. Oh, that's not supposed to be there either. pressurewashhelp.com/free. This will get you 30 days. There's also pressure washing in there, all kinds of stuff, learning about marketing and all good kinds of things. I do have some really cool things coming. As long as I can make this happen, my goal is to get it happening really soon. This week I'm in push week, and if it works, I will be putting some things in here that will definitely be worth your while to be in the membership. I give a lot of value, but there'll be a lot more value coming. Also, if you go in there, I do Marketing Monday, and we're talking about email marketing right now. And so if you come into the membership through the free, you can come into 4 Mondays of Marketing Monday, and it's where you can learn more about marketing and helping you grow your business in marketing. Also, like I said, in-person training. I will be having an in-person training with Bobby Walker in Orlando, Florida. So in Orlando, Florida in February when it's cold up wherever you live and it's nice and warm down there. So go check that out. Like I said, we will be putting a max to that because in my in-person training, you get to do the pressure washing. This isn't, hey, we're going to go watch Jason pray your house. No, you get to do the pressure washing. You get to do the surface cleaning. You get to do the window cleaning. And I know a lot of people might think, well, but the hands-on is how I learn, and the hands-on is how a lot of people learn. And so that's why I teach it that way, is because I want to make sure you understand what you know at the end of it. When we did Washathon the first time, I had a lot of people still come to my in-person training because they want the hands-on. They want to touch it, feel it, use it, and that's what I did. So definitely check that out, and we'll see you on tomorrow night if you're on Marketing Monday at 9 o'clock. Go, and you can do that if you go to pressurewashhelp.com/free. See you all this week. Have a great week. Set your goals, set them high, and write them down. Tell somebody so you can go out there and hit it.